Neuroscience has to do with the brain, different centers of the brain, nerves, and the parts of the brain that makes the body move. The brain is divided into different centers that controls different kinds, like the memory or the ability to be empathic or some other kind of emotion. So emotions are centered in the brain, and so is a brain tumor. So that belongs in the department in the hospitals where brain surgery is made. So that must be a neurological department, or because they make brain surgery. Now this video talks about pediatric brain tumors, because there's a lot of children in UK who has had brain tumors, according to an article I read on on Google. But brain tumors are situated in the brain and are removed by people who perform surgery in neurological departments, and they are being detected in a brain scan. Like nowadays, they make surgery on people if they have not narcoleptic diseases, but epilepsy. I don't know how to say it in English, but they can make brain surgery. They can situate the epilepsy in the brain, and then they can remove the part of the brain that is affected by the disease. They can see it in a brain scan. Now they have started, for some, I don't know how many years, they have tried to detect different psychiatric diseases in brain scans. In Denmark, psychiatric diseases, illnesses, are called what I would translate into mind illnesses. But the mind is not the brain. It's like some kind of soul-like thing. And it's not, you say that in Denmark that psychiatric illnesses are not somatic, which has to do with the body. So it must be somewhere outside the body. But now that they make brain scans and try to detect where in the brain the so-called psychiatric illnesses are situated, we must assume that psychiatry is going to belong to another department of hospitals, and not like nowadays psychiatric departments, because psychiatric departments have to do with not knowing where the illnesses are situated in the body, but somewhere outside the body, as if we had some kind of soul or some kind of part of our existence outside of our bodies, based on some Christian belief in a soul, which most people don't even believe in nowadays. A lot of people are atheists in Denmark, and I know that there are atheistic movements around the world, not believing in a soul or some spiritual part of the body. I know that old philosophers talked about something spiritual and or the intellect being connected with something divine outside the bodies. But medical science is not based on Christianity. Here's an image that shows us where, in what defines somatic parts of the body. And there's another image after this that might be better at illustrating this. But something somatic is physical. the somatic nervous system. So in the past in Denmark, we talked about it within medical science, bad nerves, having bad nerves. That was psychiatry, and people got nerve pills. But I don't know if there was any scientific evidence of nerves being affected, and then you could see in some kind of scan, I don't know, that you needed psychiatric medication, nerve pills, as it was called. Here's when you should see a psychiatrist: severe mental disorders, substance or alcohol abuse, repetitive negative thoughts, emotion regulations, etc. So here's an image on Google that shows us what psychiatry is. I don't know how it is to be understood. It is a puzzle, and the brain being put together. It is the brain in this image. So according to this image, I would think that psychiatry, in their view, has to do with the brain. Like this is also a picture on Google that is an image supposed to illustrate what mental illness is. And now here they are looking to situate the mental illness somewhere in the brain, which they are working on, I know, in America, but I don't know where else they are trying to situate. But then maybe they can remove the mental illness. But if that is making, like they did in the past, making that cut, I don't know what it's called, that makes people stupid, then I don't know what. DSM, like SM is a part of the word, or the letters, 5TR classification, and that's a big part of psychiatry, that they want to tie up people and use force and so maybe it's a criteria for being hired in psychiatry that you need to have that kind of sexual orientation. DSM 5TR classification is the diagnostic criteria. I don't know if they changed, it seems like it. We know that it's a bad thing to mix different psychiatric pills, but they do it a lot nowadays. Now here's some of the companies that use the words SM Investments Corporation, SM City, Baccarat, SM Entertainment, and then there's DSM-5, Differential Diagnosis. Unbound, well, I don't know if it's if that is connected. In my view, it is. It seems like people are locked up for that is a kind of secret. The people who are locked up, like some kind of secretion, that these people are being abused for people to jerk it off, to them being locked up and being victimized for people to have success with their companies, using the letters SM. They may be short for something, probably. But we all know that SM is sadomasochism, which psychiatry, there's a lot of elements of sadomasochism in psychiatry, or dominance. And now it's, these are, I can't, there's not anyone who can see what the letters are or what, but it's like some kind of, like the elements, but it is a the diagnostics and from DSM-5 tier that is somehow divided into categories and colors. It could be compared to chakras, maybe. Maybe that's what it's based on, if not Christianity, or on the different elements that is also like some kind of board and divided into different groups and categories. Like HE, I don't remember what it's short for, and H2O. That's my first letters. But I don't know, it could have to do with that. There's some kind of belief in that, some kind of very clever, intelligent way of still keeping people divided into groups, in hierarchies of different people, and then using people to jerk it off when they create companies called SM, or making songs that aim at different people because they know their stories in life. So using that or stealing from them, and in my view, psychiatric diagnoses do not exist. It's when people are totally torn apart by being abused in songs, companies, news, wherever. I can see it's true because I was talking about something, and then when I listened to the radio, they were talking about the exact same thing. I don't know where they get it from, if it's surveillance or if it's because they have penetrated your life that much that they... I don't know what it has to do with, since I'm not psychic, but I'm not even a psychiatric patient. I don't take medication because that was decided when I was locked up after a car accident in a psychiatric department, and also after having high metabolism, because they somehow think that's psychiatry nowadays. So beware, people. These are some of the elements, or some that where the H is a part of. H2O, well, then you must be a schizophrenic because there's two H's. Oh, I don't know. Even though we know that schizophrenia does not have to do with split personalities, that's a different diagnosis. I think we have to be it's not intelligent creating something called psychiatry and talking about mind illnesses when we know that mind and brain are not the same, and that there's mind, soul, spirit, brain, but it all is situated in the brain because that's all we have. Then some people think we have an aura, or some people think that we are divided into different chakras, and that is something spiritual outside the body, being connected to some divine energy of force that somehow interact with our physical bodies and our brains. But a lot of people who believe in science don't believe in fiction and magic. But it is magical thinking to think that we have a mind that is separate from our bodies, some kind of connection to something spiritual. psychiatry is like still living in medieval times where witch hunt was popular. I know from it's from Wikipedia that the letter 6. So the source is Wikipedia. So if it's true or not, I don't know. But I think it is that in Greek that the number 6 was hex, which in Danish is witch hunt. So it's like mental illness is the continuation of witch hunt. And if you add 9 to, which is 666 equals 9 numerologically, and you add it to any number, it will be the number that you add it to, which means that people see themselves in you, or that they think you can be abused, and then they can use people that they somehow think are the lowest in the hierarchy. And it's very problematic that something like that still exists.